SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg.
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is my second attempt at this video, not because of my own mistakes, it's just that I find it very difficult to concentrate with a 3-year-old watching a tablet behind me. Always very enthusiastic about showing me something ridiculous. She's trying to do it again now. So I'm going to try and get through this video without my concentration being broken too much. So let's just start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin did okay over the weekend. You might not feel like it because of the wicks or whatever, but it did. If we think about the candle bodies, basically over the last few days, well, more or less the last week, candle bodies hovering around this support, stroke, we'll call it resistance, sorry. See, there you go again. Brain broken. The resistance, we're hovering around the resistance. Now, it's not for me to say buy a resistance. That's ridiculous. You always buy the support, which is why we bought this dip. Only on Bitcoin, but again, if you look at the majority of altcoins, they did the V-shaped recovery exactly as expected, as we thought it might do from this area being the 21,000. It was the box of significance, also this 200 exponential, and then we shot up and effectively made a new high, didn't we really? So a new local high. But since then, we've been fannying around at this level. It's 24,400. And again, you know, if we take it back to the weekly, we can see that it's not just for no reason. We've got this peak over here. We've also got the 200 simple moving average, as well as the 50 simple and the 50 exponential, all hovering around here on the weekly. So big areas around here. And it'd be reasonable to assume that, you know, breaking and closing above here on weeklies would more or less mark what we would consider to be a traditional bull market on the long-term time frames. You know, once you're above a 200 weekly moving average, it's a good place to be. As in, like, you would look at that and go, okay, things are going to get good now on a long-term projection. So investments and whatever should flow into at that stage. Now, it's not for me to give price targets of where it's going to go. Charts can only offer so much. Because there's so many things that could factor into price between now and the next 3 years. But, you know, last time Bitcoin did what? I mean, it did a 20x. So from its low, that would be from its absolute low. So let's just say it did a 10x this time round. So splitting the returns in half. We are talking, you know, about $160,000, $150,000 for one Bitcoin. Maybe I'll put that as clickbait. All right. So again, it's not based on anything other than, you know, conservative specular outlook on price. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's just a clickbait title, but it's reasonable to assume that we could reach areas of that sort of size. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're just here to talk about the short-term timeframes, and it looks reasonable, even though we're pushing this resistance. Same thing going on with Ethereum as well, pushing the resistance. Don't know if you heard that. We're pushing resistance. And so if we keep pushing this resistance, if we break this resistance, we actually would have a decent rally. You know, a rally up to maybe 28 to maybe 32. Now, I spoke about this on the last few videos over the last few weeks about how the last bull market began with a very explosive bang. Went from, what, 3,300 to 14,000. In a very short space of time. It was a serious run, basically, from the bottom to that peak. And then we consolidated for about 6 months, more or less going sideways for about 18 months. So we should expect all of that again, you know. All we've really got is previous price action to go by. But on top of all of this, we do have traditional markets. So let's start that again now, because we are thinking this is a Monday. This is where things will, yeah, this is what we like. We like traditional markets because they give us a little bit of an edge on the Bitcoin situation, the crypto situation. So, as we can see, a nice buyback from that horizontal there. This was the last wick that we saw, and it pushed us back above that 50 exponential. You know, we're talking about golden crosses, so we're talking about golden crosses all the time because we're seeing them quite frequently now. This was a golden cross on the euro all the way back down, where is it? Over here, obviously, over here. So we were thinking, all right, there's two places to get supported on when it comes to a golden cross, and looking for a bullish retest. First would be the 50. We did have a decent reaction, not enough to carry it forward. Second is going to be down here around 105.3. This is also the exact opposite of what's going on with the Dixie, which makes sense, which is why we like to look at the euro. Now, I talk about the fundamentals of dollar euro, right? So we've got the Fed who are trying to, or have obviously slowed down their rate of rates, the rising of rates, and the ECB said that they're basically just going to do 50 each time, which is a silly thing to say because you're supposed to monitor the situation as it goes. But they said, oh, we're going to do 50 every time. Don't worry about it, man. I don't care what comes around the corner. 50, 50, 50. It's kind of crazy, but that's what they said they're going to do, which is a silly thing to say, like I say, but that's what they said. So they gave a projection of bullish momentum for the euro, as the ECB were likely to raise rates, or saying they're going to raise rates consistently, and the CPIs that we get through for the dollar, basically, the inflation for the dollar seem to be coming down. Apart from the last one we saw, did say that actually inflation crept up a little bit more than expected. Still coming down though, but more than expected. So when it comes to the fundamentals, does this mean that at this stage now, are we going to see a 50 basis point rate hike for the Fed, or are they going to continue with the 25s? What is it they're going to do? Markets like to price things in, obviously. So the markets seem to have thought about pricing in a further 25 because it was only ever so slightly less, a higher read, sorry, for the CPI. So I can't get my words out. My brain's being fried by Cocomelon behind me. Either way, we do have charts to go by, and the charts would still suggest that whatever the fundamentals, whether you're bullish or bearish, 25, 50, whatever it is, we're still okay. This is the pullback that we were waiting for. We've got it, and we still highlight this area as a buy the dip for everything, and we might get that. But while we're above this 50, offers further upside anyway. So let's take it to a 4-hourly to see what today's price action looks like. Today's price action for this 4-hourly has now confirmed a death cross. Okay, Bollinger Bands are pinching as well, which means that the smaller the volatility, the more likely it is that we're going to see some volatility. And even though this is just a death cross, we would likely see a retest of the upper zone of that as a bearish retest, just as we've seen that with the death cross on the daily for the Dixie. So let's put this into context, right? I strongly feel as though a further downside for the euro is most likely on a daily, and it would be a bullish retest of a golden cross on the daily, that 105.3 area. We do have a death cross on the 4-hourly, so on the short-term time frames we might come up to that area, which is the Bollinger Band top, the 200 exponential, and then find a rejection from there that could take us down to this level, around these zones. That's your 200 exponential on your daily, which means that in the very short term time frame for the euro, which would likely have some impact on traditional markets, we're looking for a little further upside, followed by a new low, a new local low, which is basically what this short-term 4-hourly suggests, and then we find an everything bounce 4.0, a big one across all markets, if of course we get supported on that 200 exponential around that 105.3 area. So I'm talking stocks, probably commodities, Bitcoin and crypto, all finding a very serious bounce around here with the euro, which could likely move on to a new high over the next few months. The new local high, that would be. But until we get that, we should just expect a little bit further downside, breaking down below here. So something along these lines, breaking down below here, and then kapow, and then move up. So I suppose in summary, what I'm talking about is up, down, big up. So little up, larger down, massive up. That's in summary. I suppose that's all you need to say. Maybe I should just make a Twitter and stop making these YouTube videos all the time and say, all right, I think market's going to go up, little down, big up. So little up, larger down, even larger up. That's what I think market's going to do. So if we think about that with Bitcoin, that would make sense. We'll probably have a retest of these previous highs, that 25,000, maybe even try and push up into that 200 simple moving average on the daily. Another rejection from there. Maybe we come down to retest this golden cross back down to 21,500 or wherever that is at the time. This is going to be moving up. These are moving averages. They're going to change price every day. And then from there, we start to really push up again if the euro gathers support. So that would be all those targets. We get back up to 25, break the 200 simple, move up to 28, which would be these kind of bottoming vibes around here. Then up to 32, and then maybe we peak around anywhere between 28 to 32 to 38 or 40. It's a long way away. I appreciate that. We're talking about another, what would be about an 80% move from this to the top targets. But this is Bitcoin. This is what it does. This is why people like crypto. It has volatile big moves up. People thought I was mad when we were down here, and I said I think we're going to move up to 19,500. People didn't like that. It worked, and now look at us, way surpassed those targets. I even bought the dip higher than where I sold the original trade. So, you know, we take each day as it comes. There's lots of things that can vary, not just on the chart, but on the fundamentals. We've got the situation going on in China, Eastern Europe. You know, who knows what's coming around the corner next. There's all of that can't be factored in properly because we don't know the reads. But as far as the chart's concerned, we've got a little up, a larger down, and then a much larger up after that. That's the general vibe of the trade setup that I see taking place across all markets at the moment. But again, it's very early. This is Monday. We'd like to see what the trading situation appears like. I'm not over trading or anything like that. I've still got my position on gold and silver. That's fine. But as far as derivatives on crypto, not for me, thank you. Not for me. If we come down to these lower zones, then fine, I'll give it a shot. If the euro and everyone else comes down to a nice comfortable area where they can all gather support at the same time, nice bit of confluence, some symmetry across markets, that would be great. If we don't sort of get that, then yeah, it just is what it is. Right, I will leave it with you there. It's a long video. As far as you know, engagement for this video is concerned, I'm kind of running out of things to ask people, really. I suppose I might as well just say, what's your favourite colour? I know we're all children now, so obviously we all have favourite colours. If you don't have a favourite colour, you're obviously just like me. But anyway, just leave some form of comment. Good, bad, I don't care. YouTube seemed to like it. And like the video at this stage, that'd be great. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, that'd be even better. And put a bell on, maybe. I think that does something too. Otherwise, just have a nice day and take it easy.